In this video, I've got a really cool announcement and project to share with you. And it's not just my project. The world is getting behind this idea of hashtag TeamSeas. And I'll let Mr. Beast and Mark Rober describe it better than I can.
2 years ago, we raised $20 million to plant 20 million trees. That's right. Literally hundreds of us influencers came together and made videos about the environment to raise money for Team Trees. And even though it's been 2 entire years, because of those videos, 2,600 trees are being planted every single day with TeamTrees.org. But recently, as you can tell by where I'm standing, more and more people have wanted us to do something for the ocean, which is why we're following up Team Trees with TeamSeas.
And we need your help to get 30 million pounds of plastic and trash out of the friggin' ocean.
Okay, pause, wait a second. We and me and the tools that we create and all this stuff are dedicated toward helping leaders and educators make connection and engagement easy. Why am I posting a video about the ocean? And I think one of the things, I'm gonna share some other techniques and ideas around what actually can unify all of us in a way that's practical that you can actually take into your meetings, gatherings, etc. But I think that one thing we can get behind on is the idea that trash doesn't belong in the ocean. Now I have a majorly personal connection to the ocean. I grew up scuba diving in Massachusetts for lobster, and I actually got engaged to my wife underwater. I proposed, I'd printed out a sign that I brought with me, and there's a whole story behind that, maybe for another video. 60% of our bodies are water, 70% of the entire planet is water. And the reason I wore this shirt today is, if you're not recognizing the shape, this would be the Milky Way galaxy, and that Google Maps pin is where we are on Earth. This is the only planet that we can actually survive on right now, never mind get to. And one of the things that connect us all is I haven't found a single person on planet Earth who says, ooh, I would love to fill this ocean with trash so that if I go to the beach, I'm stepping over plastic. I just haven't heard anybody share that. It doesn't matter what their political views are, it doesn't matter what their upbringing was. I haven't heard anybody that wants more trash, more pollution, more, etc. And there's enough talk and discussion and video clips of sea turtles with straws in their nose to motivate all of us. But today we get to do something. A whole bunch of creators on YouTube and other platforms are getting together to launch this hashtag TeamSeas campaign. And you can check out more at TeamSeas.org. But the idea is that we can put some of my mentors' words to practice here. And this idea that action precedes clarity. Now, let's do something about it rather than talking about it and groaning about it. And every time you get takeout food being like, more plastic, right? Let's actually make a dent in this. From a business perspective, one of my worst nightmares is thinking about a We Engage card or a We Connect card ending up in a picture in National Geographic in a dolphin's mouth or something, right? Having one of our tools ending up. And so started exploring more, how do we offset the carbon that we're creating by shipping these around the world, by printing them, etc. So we partnered with this really brilliant organization called Mossy Earth. And you can check them out. They make it easy to partner to offset your carbon emissions. They're a phenomenal organization, having done lots and lots of heaps of research into reliable, fantastic organizations to partner with. We settled on Mossy Earth. And so in the spirit of taking We and Me completely carbon neutral and leaning into this thing that is 60% of all of our bodies and 70% of the earth, one thing that actually connects all of us in some way, shape, or form, I would love for you to take 5 minutes today to do something to take all the division and create some movement toward unity. Go check out TeamSeas.org. The website's in the description. Or you could also just type in TeamSeas.org. Would love for you to donate if you have the ability to do so. If not, share this with other people. Let's get some trash out of the ocean. And in addition, if you read the fine print of all the organizations, the Oceans Conservancy and other group that this whole campaign is supporting, there's also some really smart policy advocacy going in to deter the use of single-use plastics, etc. To add some visual concreteness and some data to this, to anybody who's rational, logical-minded, check out this minute of clips from the secret video that was shared with other YouTube creators to launch this campaign.
So we've spent the last 8 months working with the most trusted nonprofit cleanup organizations on the planet. And even though it was difficult, they guaranteed us that for every single dollar we raise, there will be 1 less pound of plastic and trash in the ocean. And that's just bonkers.
That literally means that for every $1 donated, this much trash comes out of the ocean. And for $5, this much trash comes out of the ocean.
To accomplish this, we have a 3-prong approach, and we'll be cleaning up the beaches, rivers, and oceans across the world. Because trash on the beach ends up in the ocean, and the majority of trash in the rivers ends up there as well. So to clean the ocean, you gotta tackle all 3. For the beaches and oceans, the best nonprofit, hands down, is the Ocean Conservancy. They're gonna use half the money we raise to organize massive volunteer beach cleanups, as well as go out to sea to clean up some of the existing trash. And then the other half of the money will go to the Ocean Cleanup and UN, and they're gonna focus on the rivers, because 80% of the plastic that flows to the ocean comes from only 1% of the rivers in the world. So to combat this, we'll be placing these trash-eating robots in the world's worst polluting rivers, so it can literally pick up trash 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We saw this working firsthand in the Dominican Republic, and it's just so cool.
Lastly, if you've stuck around long enough, this video is titled One Thing That Can Connect Us All. And I'm gonna share something quite counterintuitive. I believe that the one thing that actually can connect everyone is difference. I believe that difference usually is talked about as a way to separate it or isolate us. And yet when you combine or apply curiosity to differences, differences have the ability to convert into connections, right? So if I asked you where you're from and you're from a place that I've never heard of or I've never been to, I can either say, oh, you must not be like me, or I can ask, I'm so curious, what was it like to grow up in St. Paul, Minnesota, Hong Kong? Fill in the blank, right? When you apply a little bit of curiosity, it is the key to transforming differences into connections. Thanks for hanging out with me for a special video. You're only getting this if you've been a longer time follower of We and Me, and so I really appreciate your support. You're an absolute rock star. If you're new to the channel, check it out. We've got 1,000,003 tutorials designed to help leaders and educators make connection and engagement easy. Tips, strategies, tools, really practical, what do I do with my hands kind of stuff. I'm Chad Littlefield. Thanks for helping make Earth a little bit better today. Have an awesome day.